This video will be a little bit different. I will be responding to a video that seems to be making the rounds in the social media space right now. I first heard about it from Muta Baruka. There is this Canadian diplomat by the name of Mario Stringer who allegedly spent 18 months in Jamaica, and he made a 18-minute video basically chastising Jamaica and telling everyone not to come to Jamaica because he had terrible experiences on the island. And then I saw Sparky post I think about 2 minutes of it, and I guess everybody's calling on the Ministry of Tourism to, I guess, respond. So I thought that I would go through. I took some notes, so I have my notebook here with me. I took some notes. I'll be referring to the notes, to the points that he raised, and then I will be addressing them as fairly as I can. The first point that he raised was the heat. On the heels of that, he mentioned electricity. He's saying that the cost of electricity is very high, and because of the price, a lot of the people steal the electricity, and that gets added to your usage as well. And so you have to be paying for your usage plus theft. That is true. Jamaica is a country with the fourth highest electricity cost in the entire world. He spoke about food, and he said that food is expensive. Now, I am not familiar with Kingston. I am only familiar with Montego Bay. So I can't speak for Kingston. He was in Kingston, and I would have loved if he confined his remarks to the locality in which he stayed. He made all of his comments were general, like it's the entire island. Like Kingston is the only place in Jamaica. The island is big. It's almost 3 million people here, and we have 15 parishes. So, and you were in one location, in a gated community at that, and obviously the access that you have would be limited to the location that you are at. So there are many supermarkets in Kingston. He was saying that the food were rotten and the quality of the food was poor, but it was expensive and people still buy it. I shop at Progressive, I shop at Mega Mart, I shop at Hilo, and unless you go in on one of those days when they're expecting to restock, so you know when stock come, and then there's like a 3-day window. So if you go on that last day, then you're just gonna find the remnants of you're gonna see the bad apples and the stuff that is still there. Nobody buys them, not that I can tell, but for the most part the food is fresh. It is a little bit more expensive in the supermarket than it is at the local market, but the quality of the food that he was in Kingston, but he was generalizing. That has not been my experience, because I don't shop at the market. Don't have the time to go and haggle with people over price. I shop at supermarkets like Hilo, Progressive, and Mega Mart. And I don't see that. And moreover, why would you buy, if you go in there and there are tomatoes and some rotten, why would you take the rotten ones? And if you can't get the tomato, go to another location and try to see if you can get. So that seemed, the expensiveness, I can understand, because the food is very expensive, especially like fruits and vegetables. Very expensive here. But the quality that he was referring to, I could not, and it seemed a bit petty. That's just my person. It seemed a little bit petty to me, because that's not my experience. I've lived here all my life, and I could not, but for the price, I couldn't reconcile the quality of the food that he was talking about. Maybe people in Kingston can shed some light on that. He spoke about import tax. We're not going to belabor that. It is criminal what the Jamaican government is doing when it comes to custom duty and especially electronics. It's extremely expensive, and people have to just find creative ways of trying to get around the custom fee. Okay, so he spoke about micro theft. I just felt that much of what he was saying was just he's used to, because he's a diplomat, maybe he's used to people kissing his ass and fawning over him and, you know, like a slave kind of thing. And I mean it in that way. And that wasn't happening here, and he was upset. I kind of got that. Because he was talking about micro theft. Like, why would you even bring something up like that? That happens every single where in the globe, that you have people working for you. They're gonna be pilfering. It happens everywhere. Staff go and take stuff. So I don't. The fact that he thought that it was noteworthy is a big question mark there for me. It's a big question mark for me, because this happens everywhere, and he was making it seem as if, oh, the hotel staff are thieves, they take your stuff, and the nannies are thieves. That was a red flag for me. I did not think that it was worth mentioning, because that is something that happens anywhere in the world you go. People will rob and steal. It's not unique to Jamaica. So why was that one of the... And it was in the earlier part of his video. He spoke about nannies and maids. Now, I have no experience where nannies and maids are concerned. I am not rich, so that is rich people's business. So I don't really have any comments on that. Though I find it peculiar that he was able to import somebody from the Philippines. That's, I mean, how do they even do that? He spoke about staffing issues. He said that he hired a taxi driver to take his daughter to school, and the man just quit. Just didn't show up one day, and then 3 weeks later came back and like, hey, me not have no money now. I mean, that's why I may come back. And yes, that I can see that happening. He talks about people renegotiating the price, so they come and they agreed on a price and say, okay, I'm going to fix your sink for $5,000, for example, and then in the middle of fixing the sink, the man is like, no, this is too much work. It's $10,000. That happens here. I can't speak for other countries because I've not lived in any other country and have this kind of experience, but I know that to be true. We are kind of unscrupulous when it comes to that. But it is just understanding the culture of the people that you're dealing with. He also spoke about the soon come. And that again is like, bruh, that's black people. Like, if you're black, time, we are not, when it comes to time, we have no respect for time. We will tell you, I'll be right there, and we're there 3 hours later. This is not unique to Jamaica. So he was, oh, I've been to Africa. It was making these other comparisons with other places, like, oh, Jamaica is the worst. And that is the problem that I'm having, because much of what he was saying is not unique to Jamaica. Plus, he was generalizing instead of confining his comments or his whatever to the locality that he had the experience, because there are 15 parishes in the entire island, and you've been in Kingston, right? So the soon come that I'm like, okay, I don't know if you have been dealing with black people, but black people are not known for, if somebody said, I'll be there in 10 minutes, they ain't gonna be there in 10 minutes. That's just black people in general, everywhere. So I don't know who he has been interacting with. He claims to have friends here. Maybe his friends are rich white people, but definitely not real authentic Jamaicans, because like, black people are not known to be punctual. And if you have been engaging with black people, you'll know that that is just a general thing. So I don't know. And I don't know why that was noteworthy. Because even the tour information, they'll tell you like listen, time, Jamaicans are on their own time. Any brochure that you read, they'll tell you Jamaicans are on their own time. So this is something that I think that he would have been sufficiently aware of. So to point it out in the video as a reason not to come to Jamaica is another red flag for me, because it's like, okay, you just probably just don't like Jamaicans. I've been to Canada, and trust me, I felt that the people there were racist. That was my personal opinion, having spent 3 weeks in Canada, and I'm like, I'm not going back there. And I haven't had any interest in going back there since people have been telling me, oh, you can go. I'm like, nah, I'm not interested, because I did not like the experience, the way the people treated me. So I felt that he was just being Canadian, just probably don't like black people. But on an island with mostly black people. That's what I was getting from him. Because much of the stuff that he was pointing was seemed a little bit petty and stuff that he should have been sufficiently aware of. Plus, he never mentioned anything good. You spent 18 months here and there was nothing good that you had to say. He spoke about security. So he was saying that, so he was living in a gated community, but he had to hire private security, and it was an armed guard. No, why the hell you have to hire armed security in a gated community? I don't understand. Because I know the gated communities here, there is literally a gate and there is a security checkpoint. That is what I don't know if it's different in Kingston, but that's what we have down this side. There's literally an entrance with a security there and a gate. So unless someone from inside says, okay, I'm expecting John Brown, you can't go in there. So I don't know why he had to hire security and they had to be walking up and down with guns behind him. I feel perhaps he was exaggerating. Maybe he did hire security, maybe for his own, because he felt threatened. You know, the maid was stealing from him and what have you, so I just gotta hire security. But I don't know. I didn't know what to make of that, because I know gated community, there is literally a security gate. You can't go in there unless security lets you in. So I don't know why you would need to hire armed security. Maybe somebody can correct me. He spoke about noise, pollution, and driving. That's like me going to New York and complain about noise in New York, or pollution, or driving. So, like, the stuff that he was pointing out seemed so petty. Like, he just, like, you're in a country with black people and you don't like black people. That's just the way I'm, like, because some of this, like, the electricity that I can give you, you know what I'm saying, the custom duty that I can give you. But that's not a reason to tell people not to come here, because most people don't come here to spend 18 months. They come to spend 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 1 week, 2 weeks in a resort. So why would you make a video to tell people don't come back, don't come to Jamaica? If he had said don't live in Jamaica, then I may be like, okay, well, that's your experience, whatever. But you're telling people don't come to Jamaica at all, because you live here. What you living here has nothing to do with someone who's spending 2 weeks. They come to have a good time in a resort. They probably don't even come off the resort anyway. So why would you make a video saying that? So he was complaining about noise from the stadium. Like, okay, how many people are going to be near a stadium? If you live near a stadium, there's going to be noise. If you live in a city, there is going to be noise from traffic. If you live near a train line, there's going to be noise from the train. So that was, and he was speaking about pollution. I don't know of any city, well, that does not have pollution. You go to any major city, pollution is going to kill you. You go to New York, you go to Amsterdam, you go to Morocco, you go to Nepal, pollution is going to kill you. So I don't like the driving. He spoke about the beam, the drivers. I have a problem with that too. Like, these people just flood you, they don't dim their light when they see you. It's just full blast, blinding. That is an issue. But to me, it is like that's a trivial issue for you to tell people not to come, because you're telling these are the reasons that you're stockpiling to say don't come to Jamaica. And I'm like, that's a non-issue. The average tourist is not going to contend with that. You know what I mean? It's like, why are you pointing at that? No, if you're saying the drive fast, it's not even the fact that they drive on the wrong side of the road. Like, Or why are you saying it's the wrong side of the road? Like, what does that even mean? This is how we do it here. You come here, you respect it. I can't go to Canada and say they drive on the wrong side of the road. That's a kind of arrogance that you're not supposed to bring into somebody else's country. You're here as a guest, and you respect our ways. You can't come tell me, say me I drive on the wrong side of the road, brother. That doesn't make any sense. And every major city has a pollution issue. He spoke about the school. Now, he said that, I don't know why he was complaining about the cost, 30,000. Private school anywhere in the world is not cheap. That's why it's private. So I did not get I didn't get it. Like, why are you complaining about the price? Oh, I had to pay $30,000 a year to send my daughter to school. Okay, because you're sending to rich people's school. Rich people pay extra. Now, he spoke about the fact that he's non-religious, and so, you know, they had the devotion, and, you know, it's like if you don't go to church, you're ostracized. Okay, but every culture has its customs and its norm, and if you are not, so it could be something else, right? It's like if we go to Canada with our homophobia, we're going to be ostracized. But here in Jamaica, you're homophobic, it's all well and good. Nobody cares, because that is the general culture that exists here. You're homophobic, but you can't go to Canada with that. You're going to be ostracized. So we have the most churches per square mile. That is one of the major points that most people would know about Jamaica. And obviously, you're putting your child in school, you would want to know about the school, you would have some background information. So I don't get why that was a point of contention. Because if you go into a new culture, there's going to be some kind of, you're going to feel left out in some way, because you do not understand the culture, and people, we know everybody, you know, once you're different, once you're other, then people tend to shun you. It's just that your daughter, she don't have to be religious, but participate in the devotion. It's not like you're of a different faith, and it's like, oh, I can't do what you're doing. You're non-religious, so that's gonna kill her. Okay, you're here in Jamaica, experience the culture, see what it is like, immerse yourself in it. So it doesn't kill her to take part in devotion. It doesn't kill you to take a child to church. It's not gonna kill you. It's not gonna take anything from you. It's an experience. You're here for 18 months, and we're gonna immerse yourself in the Jamaican culture and live as Jamaicans for 18 months and see how that works. That's literally what you were supposed to be doing. Instead, you were finding fault with every single goddamn thing on the island. I mean, come on. He spoke about the airport and ATM and the medical system. And once again, so we don't have our own airline. But you knew this. Why is that an issue? I mean, most small islands probably don't even have a decent airport as we do. So why is that an issue? Oh, there's no direct flight to Japan. Why would there be a direct flight from Jamaica to Japan? How direct flights work is if you have the market for it. That's it. If we have 1 million Japanese coming to Jamaica every single year, then there would be need for a direct flight from Japan to Jamaica. But we don't have that many Japanese coming here. So why would you have, I have to travel to Miami and, oh my God, like, why is that even an issue? I don't get it. He spoke about the medical system. There was no basically hospital for rich people. Like, literally, there's no hospital for rich people. He spoke about water issue, which, once again, that would not be something that a tourist would be concerned with. The tourists would be concerned with direct flights. The tourists would not be concerned with the pollution and the this and that. They wouldn't be concerned with that. This would be somebody who is probably coming to stay in Jamaica for an extended period, like 6 months to a year to 2 years, or probably trying to live or retire here or make in Jamaica. Even if it's to make it your vacation home, you're not going to be here for more than a month anyway. So I just did not understand it, because he did not contextualize his arguments, and he was basically making it seem that it was the whole of Jamaica that the issues that he was experiencing is prevalent. And it's like, you were in Kingston, sir. I've lived in Montego Bay for 11 years and I don't have any issues with water. I don't have any issues with the electricity going out. I don't have any issues with rotting food in the supermarket. I don't have any issues with noise pollution or air pollution. I've never experienced those issues. And I live here. So you can't generalize it to the entire island and make it seem that it's everywhere on the island that these issues are. Moreover, the problems that you have are not relevant to the decision of a vacationer. A vacationer don't care about the issues that you have because they're not coming here to live. They're coming here to spend a few days, have fun, and leave. They will never experience those issues. Most of the issues that he has outlined in the video, most of the travelers will never experience those issues. The stuff that he was pointing out were so trivial, and except for the corruption. So he touched about, like, if you go to deal with a government agency, like if you're not paying somebody now, that is definitely true. Because we all have that experience. If you go to tax office or you go, to the wherever you go, it's like the staff are very nonchalant. It's like they don't care. It's like you're begging them, to do their job. So that I agree with. The corruption is one of the issues that we have here in the governmental agencies. No matter who you're dealing with, it's just like if you're not paying people, the wheels don't turn fast enough, and it takes a lot longer if you're not greasing somebody's palm. So the three things that I felt, there were only three things that I felt where he had a valid point, was the price of electricity, the corruption that exists when you're doing business, no matter whether it's government or private, very corrupt practices that we have here when doing business. So what are my overall thoughts on this video? First of all, I think that this was his personal experience that he had. And, after spending 18 months on the island, the problem I'm having is that most of the points that he raised were trivial, right? He never mentioned anything good. There were no good experiences that he mentioned. And that leads me to believe that you're in a country dealing with people that you don't like. That's the only reasonable explanation I can think of. I don't like these people. I'd rather not associate myself with them, and I'm never going back. Good, don't come back here. Because while I can concede the corrupt business practices, the expensive import cost and the high electricity cost, when it comes to time, everybody who knows anything about Jamaica knows that Jamaica, no problem. Meaning, we are on Jamaica time. That is even a thing. We are on Jamaica time. The stuff about micro theft that happens everywhere. I don't know why you were pointing out the direct flight thing. Like, that's not a thing. That's not an issue. Like, why would you even mention that? Talking about pollution and noise, and you had to hire private security. Those are stuff that most tourists who come here will not contend with. And you're saying Jamaica is a very dangerous place. No, that is a very problematic statement, because perhaps where you were and how you conduct yourself made Jamaica dangerous for you. But we can look at our crime statistic as far as tourists are concerned, and you will find that we do not have any prevalence of crime being perpetrated against tourists. Obviously, harassment, and this has to do with a kind of cultural thing. Like, Jamaicans are very aggressive, and some people find that threatening. But somebody's trying to sell you something, them I go hard. But it doesn't mean that they're dangerous. and most tourists come and go about their business normal. I know personal people come, they go all the way to Spanish Town, come back 4 o'clock in the morning, like, you went to Spanish Town? Yeah, oh, they were driving us around. I'm like, what the hell? I live in, I wouldn't go to Spanish Town. And everybody knows Spanish Town is bad, so we wouldn't, like, come on, that's one place. You can't blanket the entire island of 2.8 million people and say the whole place is dangerous. So I felt that he had an agenda. If he had pointed out, oh, you know, but this is great, this is great, this is great, this is great. You spent 18 months here. Start off with the good stuff then, and then, boy, you know, these experiences made it difficult, and because of that I'm not good. But he had nothing good to say. And so I find that his video is very, very problematic. I do not believe that this was someone who appreciates the experience of living in another country and trying to assimilate the culture. It was like, I'm better than you, I'm a rich ass person, and I should have all these privileges, and I was just treated like a regular citizen, and that pissed me off. I'm never going back. That's just how I felt. We didn't kiss his ass, and that upset him. And I was like, well, sir, slavery is abolished. We don't do that here. So maybe it happens in Afghanistan, maybe it happens in Africa. It does not happen in Jamaica. We don't do that. So much of what he said was just nonsense. There were trivialities, just petty stuff that someone who is used to a certain kind of, you know, standard of living just come like, oh my God, Jamaica is so poor. I gotta take out my own water. I gotta catch my own water. You know, like, who does that? It felt kind of, you know, those rich people looking down their noses at you. That's what it felt like to me. And I'm glad, don't come back, because, you know, your video was uncalled for and it was not balanced. Had it been balanced, then I would have felt a little bit better. But I feel like this was just a rich, arrogant asshole. Like, oh, I went to Jamaica and I didn't get treated like a king. Like, well, those days are over. Anyways, that's my assessment on the entire matter. Maybe you agree or disagree with me. Tell me what you think down in the comment section. Thank you for watching.